The Red Dead Redemption universe is huge. It is filled with many great characters and many great villains. Well, villains can be great characters too. So today we're going to create a tier list of every single Red Dead Redemption villain. Small or big, the true villain will cover everyone. There are a total of 5 tiers. First is the GOAT, which is for the best of the best villain who did his job perfectly. The second is the true villain, just a tier smaller. Third is average, just for, the average guy. Fourth is filler. The people who were just there to, connect the storyline didn't impact much. You probably won't remember for long either. And the last one is garbage, straight up garbage. The game wouldn't have been better without them, or it didn't affect much. So yeah, let's start. We're starting with Vincent desanta, and he is not related to Michael desanta anyway. So let's talk about him. Well, I think he is fairly average, in my opinion, because when you finish the Red Dead Redemption game, he is not the most memorable thing you remember. He did his job, in a good way, but he is not memorable. He doesn't have a very strong personality, but yeah, he did his job. However, it wouldn't be great for him. Next, we have Archer Fordham. Archer is not even the main villain. He was the right hand of, Edgar Ross. We're going to talk about Edgar Ross later, but let's talk about Archer first. Because let's be honest, he had nothing to do with it. He was just a puppet doing what his, master was telling him to. Just a corrupt government official, so I think filler would be perfect for him. His lack of screen time was also an issue. Next up is Agustin Allende. Now this guy was terrible. There are few characters in Red Dead Redemption that you're going to hate more than him. And this is not an evil or intelligent tier list video. I'll probably make one later. But this is how impactful and interesting he is. And I'm going to place Agustin in the true villain category. He really makes you feel like you're dealing with a villain. A corrupt guy who doesn't think about anything, doesn't think about innocent people, just cares about him. And he really keeps it on the field. And that's probably why Rockstar even had him on the game cover. So yeah, Agustin Allende is definitely a true villain. We've got our first true villain on the list. Now for the big fish, Edgar Ross. Yeah, this madman deserves what he got. For him, I'm gonna place him straight on the God tier. Yeah, probably the best villain in the Red Dead universe. He truly succeeded in what he wanted to do, even though he did get justice. But yeah, you gotta love how evil and planful he was. He planned every single minute detail, executed at such a level, and succeeded throughout the game. What separates him, in my opinion, from other villains is that he really thinks with the brain. He's an almighty power. And when he uses the power of concentration, he gets the job done. I think Edgar Ross is a goated villain. You're going to hate him a lot if you haven't played the game yet. Now we have Javier Escuella. I'm going to play Javier in, average tier in my opinion, because even though he was terrible in the first game, he does not impact much. He was just a part of the storyline. Because when you look at the villains like Agustin Allende, Bill Williamson, Dutch, and Edgar Rove, you will understand how important Javier Escuella was. But yeah, still, he was dangerous. I'm going to play him in the average tier. Good job. Speaking of Bill Williamson, let's talk about Bill Williamson. Bill Williamson is the first villain introduced in Red Dead Redemption. I mean, literally, he almost killed John in the prologue. And it was a pain in the ass to finally get him justice. In my opinion, I'm going to place Bill Williamson in the true villain tier. He does not deserve the GOAT tier, but he does not deserve average either. And I believe a true villain will be perfect for him because he has the trait. He was a leader, and a lot of people will agree that he was not pure intelligent. But I believe he had intelligence. He was smart, he had plans, and he was able to execute them. So I think a true villain will be great for him. Next is Dutch van der Linde. Now, Dutch, when you play Red Redemption 2 before Red Redemption 1, you're not going to hate Dutch enough unless you do reverse for playing Red Redemption 1 first. But if you carefully look into all the action he's taken in both of the games, attacking people, killing them mindlessly, betraying John, you're going to have to agree that he was a goated villain. He died like a punk, but at the end, that does not justify the importance of a character. He was pure evil. He was a maniac. Probably after John Marston and Arthur Morgan, the third most important characters in the universe, and third most memorable. Dutch is definitely going to the next tier. Next up is Micah Bell, the most despised character of RDR. You see him in RDR 2, and the things he does are just terrible. Imagine killing the puppy of a 7-year-old kid or plotting against your own member. And these are very petty crimes when you see his mentality of racism and all the things he's done. And how he corrupted the Dutch by plotting against Arthur Morgan was disgusting but impressive. And props to Rockstar Games for creating a character like this, which almost everyone unanimously hates. So Micah Bell is going to the goated tier too. Next are Joe and Cleet. Yeah, I'm coupling both of these characters, and I think they both deserve to be in the filler tier. If Redemption were an anime, they would probably be in the filler arc. They don't even interest me personally. They don't. They just care to correct the plot lines and have a little break before the big time. Both of these were not memorable, but yeah, you might like them. But still, for today, I'm going to place them in the average tier. Next up is Andrew Milton. Did I ever tell you how drippy this guy is? Yeah, he's a scumbag, but he got the drip. And he is a true villain. Yeah, I'm placing him in the true villain category. You have to admire his passion to get hated by a lot of people. He has all the characteristics of a villain. He's smart, he's intelligent, he knows how to plan, and he's gutsy, even though he will never make a bad move. And in the storyline, I think he actually made it enjoyable. A direct villain. You have to love it. And when you are an outlaw and someone in a profession exactly opposite of you, that creates perfect storyline material, and for that, I'm going to place him in the true villain tier. Next is Catherine Braithwaite, and just like Andrew, I'm going to place him in the true villain tier. She was definitely a great character. I loved her character and hated her for her bad actions. She was, a tough-to-go character who didn't flinch and always showed anger, disdain, and hatred. That's what you feel in a villain. And in the Red Dead universe, where almost half of the people want you dead, having a character like Catherine Braithwaite is just the cherry on top. And I kind of liked her more than her family. More than even the Watson family. So I'm going to place her in the true villain tier. Now we are down to Angelo Bronte. Remember this guy? I hope you do, because we are going to talk about him. And I think he is the first and only one on this list, which belongs to the garbage tier. Now I am not going to moralize him for what he did. He was a criminal. There's no denying that. So were John and Dutch. But unlike Dutch and John, he was a terrible character. You don't enjoy him at all, in my opinion. He did not laugh in bed. And he did not have great villainous activity. He was just a fool who was placed in that position of power, and he failed to cooperate. And he loved her terribly. So yeah, he belongs in the garbage tier. And we are ending our list with Alberto, the main villain of the 5th chapter of the game, a true tyrant, you can say. But can he belong to the court tier? I don't think he's going to the court tier. The best tier for him is going to be average. He was an average villain, he was a villain, he was absolutely terrible. But he was not a true court-level villain either. Average is good for him. Considering his crimes and his actions and his motivation, he just wanted to be left alone. But you can't be left alone in the universe when you are not the main character in a video game. So I think the average tier is good for him. So this was my tier list of Red Dead Redemption universe villains. And what changes will you make to the list? Maybe you will have another character in the court tier or another character in the villa tier. Let me know in the comments section about your picks. And if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Upload videos like this a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Avenaut signing out.